All right. Well, welcome back. This is Strictly Business Week 6 podcast review. I have a special guest, Mr. Rich Roudingsword, checking in from the barracks.
No, from my apartment. No
From...
barracks. Nonsense.
Either way,
That's
how's
for
it going,
it's
man?
it's fantastic as always. I just pulled up last week's scores. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Anytime you're in the winning column in this league, it's a good thing. So, how do you feel about your Bills? They were off to a hot start, and now they're starting to flounder a little bit.
Uh, we lost to two division leaders. Okay,
Yeah, you
we're
did.
still in the division lead. We're still going to be in the AFC Championship game with a rematch against the Chiefs. It'll be fine.
I would say besides the NFC East, the AFC East is probably the second worst division in football. Just saying.
It
Patriots.
could be.
Patriots are not the Patriots. They're no good.
It's not the AFC South. I mean, I'm a little insulted by that.
I mean, it's debatable. Debatable. There's no debate that the NFC East is by far and away the worst division in football. I will take that. Before we started recording, I was telling you how I think the Giants are going to win a couple division games, and if we do, I mean, we might walk away with the damn division, which is crazy. It's crazy.
Seven wins get you in the NFC East.
I mean, you may not even need that. It could be that type of year. You might need 5, and they all be division wins.
Oh,
Right now, the Giants are 1-1 in the division. Huge game against the Eagles tomorrow night. We win that. I mean, now we're 2-1 in the division. We face everybody again real soon too. The way the division games line up this year, I think we're done with the division by like week 10 or something. Or excuse me, yeah, week 10, week 11. So you never know. You never know. Crazier things have happened, and this year has been a crazy year to say the least.
well, you believe what you want. I think they should lose for Lawrence.
I don't think they're going to. I really don't. I think Washington's got a head start on that for sure. We'll see though. There's
Are
some other
you
teams they're pretty bad.
are you guys done feeling sorry for yourself and Saquon?
I am. Yeah.
You guys are all over you guys don't need any more therapy.
No, no, no. That's my therapy.
I was concerned about all you. The week after Saquon got hurt, it was like a group therapy session.
There's some people that were on watch. That's for sure. That are in our group our group chat. I was
I
worried.
mean, I've never wanted to give RJ a hug so bad in my life, but
I was gonna say I was worried about RJ. He was rattled. Ricky was upset. Ricky just curled up in a ball. Phil took it like a man, like he always does. But
Phil always takes it like a man.
yeah, Carl was upset, but I'm not worried about Carl. But it was crazy. So here we go. We're going in week 6 review. Can't believe we're about to be entering week 7 as of tomorrow. This football just makes the end of the year fly by when you have something to look forward to each and every week. I'm going to start with my matchup because going into this was an uphill battle against Fan Touch This, the number 1 team in the league as of last week. And it was a battle up until Monday night, even into the fourth quarter of that Arizona Dallas game. And then my man Kenyon Drake just took off for a touchdown, put him over 100 yards, second touchdown of the game, finished with 33. Now, if I were to tell you this, that you had Aaron Rodgers as your starting quarterback, he scored 1.8, right? You had a wide receiver that you expected to do something, and John Brown scores 0. A guy like Cooper Kupp, who you definitely rely on week in and week out, scored 2.8. So between those 3 guys, I had a total of 4.7 points starting.
And you started the Giants defense.
Yeah. And the opposing defense that I was playing against, the Dolphins, scored 33. So if you knew those statistics, your stud quarterback scores 1.8, a wide receiver that you rely on, that's certainly a top 20, maybe top 25 receiver week in and week out. He only scores 2.8. And then another receiver that you certainly are expecting something out of, it's a goose egg, and the opposing defense scores 33, you're looking at a loss, usually.
What if I told you the other guy, not counting his quarterback, only had 3 players scoring double figures?
That's exactly it. I got a little bit of luck on my side, that's for sure. Julio Jones coming back, that was huge boost there. Over 102 touches. Kenyon Drake, like I said. George Kittle, I love that dude. He's an absolute beast, over 100 and a touch. And my New York Giants defense put up 18 for me. And that's how you walk away and there's a winner sometimes. Sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, and it takes some guys stepping up for you. I bump
I
up.
did want to
Go ahead.
I did want to talk about Dave for a hot minute.
Sure.
So little down the middle Dave. We're gonna rename him here.
Okay.
Down the middle Dave. Down the middle Dave had a great start, hot start. All his players popped right off the bat, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep stacking my running backs. I'm not gonna." Dave's got to adapt. I try to tell him, having all that depth when it's sitting on your bench during the playoffs doesn't do you any good when you start coming up against juggernauts. And, hopefully, down the middle Dave hears this and he starts really wheeling and dealing, because he has some pieces he can move, but he's got to not be so afraid. And,
There you go.
I mean, there's nowhere in the book that tells you, how to approach crazy people, but he's going to have to learn quick. And I hope he does.
Yeah. A lot of throwing darts in the dark. I mean, you're right. He has had a great season. Now it's do or die. You can't fall to 4-3, because then you're just in the thick of it. And like you said, the wheels are about to come off, and we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Ryan year in and year out makes one or two wrong moves, or gets off to a great start, the one or two wrong moves, and then just dismantles. And it can
we passed week 6.
Weeks.
Ryan's magic is all gone. He turns into a pumpkin after week 6.
So another team that was 1-4 needed a victory was John, and he was playing your juggernaut there, Rich, that you've put together here. You've manufactured a stud squad, I gotta say. You only scored 137, so it was a beatable score. But John's team did not show up. And I think that might be part of the reason why he canceled on the podcast this week. Knowing that you might be on.
He canceled out of shame.
Yeah, especially with Derrick Henry dropping almost 50 on him in his face. He's made – I've never seen John so flustered as I have seen him this year, where he's making deals out of desperation, not making deals like he normally does. And it's
What's that? Not making deals?
Well, no, just being much more cautious. I mean, I thought he traded Derrick Henry, pulled the trigger a little too quick there. You reap the benefits of that one. And
John likes to remind me that he drafted Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones. I'd like to remind John that he drafted Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones.
That's why he doesn't want to be on the podcast tonight. That is why. And then he sat on Jonathan Taylor. Like, Jonathan Taylor was his golden egg, and he really hasn't blossomed into much yet. And both your defenses were in the minus column. Amari showed up for him. Claypool showed up for him. But, I mean, it just he was, like, struggling to find a quarterback last minute. Picked up Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater did not show up. And you're going up against Pat Mahomes and Tyreek, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones. Like, dude, you got a stud squad, man. You got a stud squad. Even the last-second starter of Pascal, I was thinking about picking him up just in case John Brown didn't start. Just slide him in, right before the 1 o'clock kickoff. Drop 13 with a touch.
You got to do what you got to do. Hey, listen, I got the T.Y. Golden Tate stench off my team. I feel better now this week.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes got to make moves to get rid of names on your roster, for sure.
I just want to point out, this is why you draft Pat Mahomes in the first round.
Yeah.
You don't worry about it. Just set it and forget it. Even on a mediocre day, it's still 25 points. Other quarterbacks, you see what happens.
Yeah, the weather was awful. It was cold. The first couple throws he had were just all over the place, but he dialed it in. He went and got a victory on the road in very shitty weather, cold and rainy up in Buffalo. So, Rich, congratulations. Move up to 4-2, certainly in the thick of things. And John falls to 1-5. really tough spot now for John. Almost has to win out. I think he has to go 6-1 to have a shot. Although 6-7 overall could get you in the playoffs this year. It could.
In John's defense, he did tell us it was going to be first or last place.
It's true.
And he did not lie to us.
Thanks, John. Thanks for being so honest. All right, so Nutella versus No Promises, No Lollipopsicles. RJ, another team that was 1-4 must-win scenario, scores 130 points, knocks off Phil, who was 4-1. Phil's team did not show up, only had 96 points. I got to tell you, there's a couple of those matchups this week where 1-4 teams played other teams, and the other team had a very beatable score. RJ, Lamar Jackson came back to life, over 100 yards rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. James Conner over 100 with a touch. Other than that, I mean, Patriots D, 130 is a very beatable score. But when you're playing Phil's team, Phil had Zeke with 2 fumbles. His high scorer was his kicker, Coop, with 20. You know it's a tough week. Granted, he had Chris Carson and DK Metcalf on a bye. Let's just put that out there. But everybody's dealing with bye weeks. RJ had Michael Thomas on a bye week. He hasn't played yet this year, really.
Phil started COVID Cam and Frank Gore.
Yeah, Frank Gore. Oh, Phil. Phil was drinking that day. That's for sure.
Frank Gore is a starting running back in the NFL.
He is, but he plays for the Jets. The Jets are going to be behind all year. Oh, man. No bueno. So Phil falls to 4-2. RJ jumps up to 2-4. In Silva, I trust against Fluff. Now, Norm was putting some stuff together, and then his team came out with a flopper of 100 points this week. Ryan made a push for high week with 218, fell just short, but stud week out of Ryan. Let's look at exactly what happened here. Obviously, Kyler had a huge week. D-Hop only had 73 yards receiving. Most of them came on that one play. Jefferson, 2 touches and 166 yards. Cole with 23 points. Christian Kirk had over 2 touchdowns. Steelers D, 28. Again, you get 20-plus points out of your D, you're in a good spot. That's for sure.
The Ds have been so inconsistent this year.
Oh,
It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't – even defenses we think are great are all of a sudden getting smashed in the face and putting up 2 points, -4 points. Defense, normally you can just set it and forget it when you find and trade for that one good D, and it doesn't seem to matter this year at all. It's very confusing. The only thing you can count on is whoever's playing the Jets are going to do well.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Or even Washington. For the most part, Washington's been a good matchup for defenses. Just looking at this, Norm's in scramble mode for sure. He's in scramble mode. I think he's made already, three deals in the last 2 days just to rectify his roster, try to put something together. He's 2-4, but he doesn't scare me at 2-4. That's for sure.
Especially with the trash I just gave him.
He's throwing me some trash. He's coming after Waller and Kittle. I'm like, dude, you got to have at least a stud in that. These 2 guys are studs. I got 2 of the top 3 tight ends in the league, and they play like wide receivers.
Yeah.
You got to come at me with something. You can't throw me T.Y. Hilton and garbage. Sorry, it's just not going to fly. I'm not looking for that type of deal right now.
T.Y. is averaging 4 targets a game.
Yeah.
And John did make a pretty good observation that wide receivers over 30 somehow have crashed this year.
Yeah, for the most part.
Those old steadies aren't doing it.
Well, Julio's 31. He's just been hurt. He's had 2 monster games, and then he was hurt in 2 of the games. So it's not like – I don't know. I would say yes, the majority of wide receivers that are over 30 have not been playing as well. But I don't get why Ty is not getting the looks. I mean, can you not get open? I
I
haven't.
just don't think Philip Rivers likes him. He throws. He's literally thrown to. He was thrown to Paris Campbell. Then it was Michael Pittman Jr. And now it's Zach Pascal. It's literally anybody but Ty. It was Mo Alley Cox. It was Jack Doyle. He literally is
Right,
throwing to anybody but Ty.
right. I don't know. Maybe there's some beef in the locker room or something. Who knows? But either way, or he just can't get open. So that's why Phillips not looking at him. I don't know. Can't explain it.
I don't know.
So here's the question. So Ryan just had a monster week, his biggest week of the year. He's
Mm-hmm.
5-1. So has he reached that apex?
Oh yeah, week 6. He just turned into a pumpkin.
Now it is. He's starting to crash.
It's all downhill.
I
It's
mean,
all downhill.
he does have a great combination there. The connect with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah, he
can carry him.
just stay away from the deal with Norm. Just don't make a deal with Norm, Ryan. That's all we ask.
I mean,
Just say no.
I'm looking at the rest of his roster, and I have to say, like, it's boom or bust. Everyone else on his roster is boom or bust.
Yeah.
You know, now Miles Sanders is not playing this week on a short week. Wonder what he's going to do there. Probably have to put McKinnon in. I don't know. I'm not going to make roster moves for him. But either way,
It's on a shoestring. It's on a
It is.
shoestring. We'll see what happens.
so he takes over sole possession of first place, but it's a slippery slope, as we've all.
Slippery slope.
Yeah. So shirts are for pussies against the Connecticut fantasy football team. Rick was on a roll. This is another team. He lost his first game, won 4 in a row, and then throws out a dud with 98 points this week. Jeff, he had been struggling. He had lost 2. Now he bounces back with 151 points. I mean, solid week for Jeff. Wasn't really much competition from Rick. Just looking at Ricky's team, he had a dud week.
He did have half his team on a bye.
You only have 2 guys that score over 10 points. Now, to your point, I don't say half his team. Is Drew Brees really a stud starting quarterback?
No.
Okay. Kamara is the number 1 back, but Jared Cook, he's a solid tight end. Where else? I don't see anybody else that's on a bye though. He just has
Close enough.
All right. Well, Kamara is a big chunk, so this would have been 150 to 125. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way,
He started the right defense. He could have put up another 25 points.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's very true.
But I mean, he did lose Zach Ertz.
Yep.
Devin Singletary's lost some value now that Zach Moss is back.
And this was a huge week for Jeff. Like I said, he breaks up that losing streak. He had Russ and Jacobs on a bye, Emmanuel Sanders on a bye. So this was a big week to go get Jeff. And his team still dropped 150. So
yeah.
Jeff's got a solid team, real solid team. A.J. Brown has been a beast since he got back. Beast. And that Broncos D put up a surprising 25 points on the road against the Patriots. That whole game was just a head scratcher. I took the Patriots in a parlay, just money line. I took Steelers and I took Baltimore. That was my early parlay, and I only put $20 on it. It wasn't crazy, but it was $20 to win I was going to win like 60, 65, something like that. The fucking Patriots going to come through for me against the lowly Broncos at home. Brutal. So, all right, last game here of week 6 is Catch 22 against Mr. Legs. Carl put up 131.97 against Mr. Legs is 156.97. Nicky is now won 2 in a row. He's sitting at 3-3 in the middle of everything. Carl falls.
And talking mad shit too.
Oh yeah. I'm sure. He's defending champ, of course. And Carl, who started 2-1, has now lost 3 in a row. He's sitting at 2-4. Carl's team is eagerly waiting Christian McCaffrey's return. Shows you how much he was banking on him. Yeah, I mean, you look at Nick's team here. I mean, I love Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. He's blown up in the last 2 games since they got rid of Bill O'Brien. There's no riddle there. It's pretty simple. Let him sling it. And then he's got 7 wide receivers for Houston.
Nick's team is a house of cards as always.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Man,
It's hilarious.
it is.
Every
But he,
guy's awesome too. Like Jerry Judy's a stud, bro. AJ Green, that's his guy now.
oh
He won't part AJ Green for nothing. Come on, man. He's got nothing but number one draft picks and studs on his team. You better come correct if you want to trade with Nick.
gosh. Isn't that how it always is? Every year. Oh, I mean, again, looking at the league, he's right in the thick of it at 3-3. Let's
He
look.
just picked up Antonio Brown.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're saying he might get signed by Seattle.
You know who else is on Seattle? Josh Gordon. They're both indefinitely suspended.
Well, good luck, Nick. Good luck. So,
He's going to have 4 quarterbacks and 2 suspended wide receivers on his bench.
so, so you got Ryan sitting at 5-1. You got you, Dave, Phil, and Ricky all at 4-2. Sixth place right now goes to Jeff at 3-3. Nick's in seventh at 3-3. And then I have the most points scored out of the 2 and 4 teams, which are me, RJ, Carl, and Norm, and Johnny Boy sitting in last place. He has 815 points for, but he's only 1-5.
Yeah.
Wow.
In contrast, I mean, Ricky's only got 801 points scored.
Yeah. Yep.
Ricky's played an awfully soft schedule.
Well, he's just been fortunate. Definitely fortunate. That's how it goes. So
I like how you wouldn't call your best friend's schedule soft, but that's nice. Just call it like it is.
Fortunate. You know, sometimes the
Look
ball
at-
bounces in your camp for sure.
Look at Ricky and Jeff. They're right next to each other. Jeff's got 907 points. Ricky's got 801 points. Ricky's got one more win because when you look at points against, Ricky's got 771 and Jeff's got 950 points against.
Yeah.
Soft like Charmin, baby.
I've had those seasons, so I get it. It's all on who you play when you play them. So now, pivotal week 7, because we are reaching the halfway point of our regular season here, week 7. It's crazy to say that, but it's true. Week 7. Here we go. Huge battle to kick it off.
Hey, just to remind everybody, there are only 4 more weeks to trade.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for the reminder. Better get on it. You know,
Get your Andy Dufresne on. Get busy living or get busy dying.
that's right. The Ryans and the Daves of the world better start making moves. But yeah, huge battle here. Me and RJ both sitting at 2 and 4. We could look back on this in a few weeks and see that this could be literally a playoff battle. At 2 and 4, both are coming off a win. Both need a win. Now, I get RJ without Lamar Jackson. No Lamar Jackson for me, which is huge.
Big win.
That's huge in my favor for sure. He did just pick up Tom Brady and Carson Wentz today. So he's starting Tom Brady on Sunday night. Good for him. I expect Rodgers to bounce back. I expect him to have more than 1.8. I'll just put that out there.
I'll put some money on that.
Yeah, I would hope so. I get Darren Waller back. He was on bye last week, which could be huge. I feel good. I feel good about my team. I'm not going to make a ton of changes unless like the perfect deal comes out this week. I kind of want to ride my team one more week. I also want to see what's going on with Melvin Gordon because he sat out last week. So I was down Melvin Gordon and Waller and dropped 150, 2 of my starters. So I want to make a statement this week. Michael Thomas comes back. Like, I want to prove to the league that my team is legit. And on paper it is, but we just haven't been able to put consistent weeks together. I mean, what do you think of this?
I'm rooting hard for your team this week because RJ's team scares the shit out of me.
RJ's got a stud team too.
If RJ's team is healthy and in the playoffs, it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Like David Johnson, Matt, but he could fall in the end zone twice. James Conner could have that big game, and then you look at like Michael Thomas, Robbie Anderson, Chris
Godwin.
Godwin.
Yeah.
Like that's you throw Lamar Jackson in there, man.
Yeah.
Whoo! That's
Mike,
some
Mike
scary
Williams.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, Big Mike, I'm not too worried about. He's got
But
to stay on the
again,
field and actually do something.
he's a boomer bust guy, man. That's what I'm trying to say. You're
Like that James Conner with those 3 stud wide receivers and Lamar Jackson, it could spell death.
yeah,
Death.
yeah, blow up potential. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I got to nip him this week when he doesn't have Lamar. That's got to take him out.
You take him out this week. It's a big win for you. Gets you one step closer to the playoffs, and it makes it that much harder for our. He could go up and get that one rough week, and that's it. It's a wrap for the season.
Yeah. Put him in a tough spot, But then again, if I fall to 2-5, it puts me in a tough spot too, regardless of the names that are on my roster.
Yeah.
Here's another battle. You got Ricky, 4-2, coming off a loss against Ryan, who just had the biggest week of his life. Just going down here, of course, Kamara and Breeze are back. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a much bigger week. Houston's defense is suspect, especially their secondary. That's why I think Rodgers and Adams are going to eat this week. And then in regard for Ryan, I mean, Philip Lindsay was a huge bump for him, but what does that Broncos backfield do?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Ryan's basically, he's hanging his hat. It's Kyler Murray and Nook, and they are playing Seattle, so there's going to be plenty of airing it out. But, if that doesn't come through or it's only mediocre, he might be in a world of hurt, man.
Yeah.
Ricky's team's pretty fucking good with Kamara, Evans, Devontae.
I'm saying.
It's well-rounded. Some of those guys on the back end have anywhere decent.
Yeah, he's got some studs for sure. And this is the week that Ryan starts to decline. So let's go, Rick.
It's looking like a Ricky week. He caught Ryan after week 6.
Yep. So our next matchup, no promises, no lollipopsicles against Fan Touch This. Both teams are 4-2. Both teams coming off a loss. Both teams underperformed last week. Had guys that they were missing for sure. I mean, this is a put up or shut up week for both these teams. It's really, I'm looking at the rosters. I'm like trying to find an edge.
It just comes down to whichever quarterback scores more points wins this game.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook.
I don't think it's
high, so doesn't have Dalvin Cook. That's Dave. Oh man, I mean, this one. And right now it's Allen versus Newton. He's going to start Newton again. You got Big Ben at Tennessee. That game could be a shootout.
But it is Big Ben on the road, and he's not a –
yeah, you're right.
He's not a road warrior.
That's true. That is true. And we're waiting for that Big Ben flop game where he throws like 3 picks, no touchdowns. It happens every year. Just when you start feeling good about starting him. So, and it should be a bounce back game.
Cam's probably the safer play.
That's what I'm saying. I definitely think it's going to be a bounce back game. They're playing home against San Francisco. We'll see.
But you never know. Phil could start drinking on Saturday night, and it could all get crazy.
Anything can happen with Phil. That's for sure. Oh, man.
He might put that thinking riding helmet on and start getting some brilliant ideas.
Absolutely.
We know what down the middle Dave's going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever the start sit tool tells him.
All right, we're moving on to your game. You've won 4 in a row after starting 0-2, and you're playing the lowly Fluff team. This one has all the makings of a blowout. I hate to
say. You know how much I enjoy taking Norm out behind the woodshed. And I'm nervous now. I'm nervous this week. I'm like,
why?
Hey, Henry had his monster week last week, so it's probably not coming this week.
Playing Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I just worry. I worry all the time.
Listen, you
I'm
got
a Bills fan. How am I supposed to be excited about anything? Nothing.
You got
Everything good misses.
your opposing quarterback is Tannehill home against Pittsburgh. That's not a good matchup. Your quarterback is at Denver. He's gonna roast him. He's gonna absolutely roast him.
Hey, normally I come out on fire talking mad shit. I don't want to do that yet. I'll talk it on, Monday night after
Okay.
the fact. I mean, I already traded Norm a bunch of trash, so I mean I can't do much else.
I mean, Norm's hurting. Ty is on a bye this week, so
Ty, Golden Tate, and Adam Humphries. They were just in a deal.
I know.
Does it matter what was on the other end for me? I don't think so.
Norm has fluff, that's for sure. There's no question about it. All right. You're about to be 5-2, so relax.
5-2, I might be in first place after that.
Yeah, you could be. Well, actually, no. Well, yeah, you could be. I mean, no promises, no lollipopsicles, and fan touches are both 4-2. Someone's got to win that game. And then
doesn't score more points than Ryan.
That's true. And then Ricky's 4-2, and he's playing Ryan, who is 5-1. So, okay, second to last game here. Nikki P, 3-3 against Jeff, 3-3. There's some good matchups this week. I mean, there's good matchups every week, but shit is starting to get real at this point in the season. Obviously, Jeff gets Russ Wilson back playing at Arizona. That game has shootout written all over it.
All over it.
Yeah. Jacobs against Tampa. That Tampa Bay D. Wow. What do you think of that D?
I think they didn't commit any penalties, and I think Aaron Rodgers got paid to throw that game.
You do.
Yeah.
They were up 10-0. Looked like they couldn't do anything wrong. He throws that pick six, and everything fell apart.
It wasn't that one. It was the next one. It was his next pick that almost went for 6, and he was just like, "What happened?"
Yeah. But
and
that
you're
pick,
like, "Oh."
But that pick six was a terrible throw too. It was 5 yards behind the receiver, underthrown. Like he doesn't make throws like that.
If you found out that he got paid $10 million to throw that game, would you fucking question it?
Probably not. I wouldn't be surprised. Not Aaron Rodgers, anyways. Russ Wilson.
No, he's got.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, Russ wouldn't do that, but Aaron Rodgers got State Farm. He's I don't know which one. He's fucking protected. He's got insurance. He's fine.
It is State Farm.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, so looking at this 3-3 on paper, Nikki's going to start Herbert against Jacksonville, which isn't a bad start.
No.
But, yeah, Deshaun Watson's playing a home against Green Bay, and he doesn't think that game's going to be an absolute shootout. I think Green Bay.
I don't know if Nick watches football. He's starting the rest of his Texans.
I mean, what is going on here?
Nick just has a wheel in his bedroom with 7 quarterbacks on it and spins it, and that's the one he starts that week.
I'm surprised he doesn't have everyone on his bench right now. He's done weeks.
Is he? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still trying to trade Baker Mayfield, and that dude's a free agent.
Yeah, I give the edge on paper to Jeff for sure. He's definitely scored more points on the season. His team looks like it could be a legitimate contender. I mean, he's got 2 stud backs, 3 stud wide receivers. Like he's got a team.
Nicky just traded the guy who he touts as the dark horse MVP, Ryan Tannehill, for Alexander Madison, who is now relegated to being a backup again.
Yeah.
Like he held out that was the best he could do?
Yeah.
It was the best he could do. A guy on a bye who's going back to being a backup. Nick's been holding fucking quarterbacks for gold, and that's the deal he makes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he shake his magic 8 ball and it finally told him it's time to make a deal? Like, what is going on?
And watch him sit Deshaun Watson, who's been on fire the last 2 weeks since they made the coaching change, in a legitimate shootout type matchup. I don't get it. And watch him win.
And he signed Antonio Brown this week.
I know. I'm in hopes that Seattle would pick him up and he wouldn't get suspended.
He's permanently suspended until otherwise notified.
He may not come back till 2025, but he's going to be on Nick's team.
Nick's getting his XFL roster ready that we talked about.
He's going to try to slide him in the IR spot. Hope that no one notices it. And I got like 3 people that text me independently, like, "Hey, do you see Nick's roster? You got to say something." You know, they did the same thing with Dave's roster. I'm like, these guys are fucking hawks. They're all over it.
Hey,
Like,
don't worry. I put my kicker on COVID. I'm on the Rona IR spot.
did you really?
Yeah. I was like, I feel like I feel like if one of my guys gets the Rona, I should just out of the fact that I should keep him on my roster and put him in the fucking
There
Rona
you go.
spot.
Yeah, I haven't had
Like
anybody like that yet.
like that's out of respect for Joey Sly and the beard.
He's a good kicker. Good kicker.
Hey, he kicks 50-yarders.
Those are like touchdowns, man. All right. So here we go. This week's toilet bowl matchup: Carl at 2-4 against John 1-5. Combined, they've lost 5 in a row. This is to salvage whatever you can in the season, and this is brutal. This matchup.
I can't take Carl's roster serious with Big Lenny and Swift as his starting running backs. Like, is that real?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, what's he gonna do? He missed on the Calvin Ridley sell high. You know, he missed on that. Galladay's solid. Don't get me wrong. T. Higgins is on the come up as a rookie. Evan Ingram's just been locked into his tight end spot and hasn't done shit all year.
He missed on the Russell Gage sell high.
Yeah. Well, I sold him high too, Carl.
Oh. All right, he bought on the Russell Gage high.
The week I played Carl with no Julio, and then Carl beat me. So one of Carl's 2 victories is against me. You're welcome, Carl. Oh man, but yeah, just looking at these 2 rosters, I don't know what to say. Like, I give the edge to John because he's got Scary Terry, Mari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, but can the Red Rifle actually throw the ball? That offensive line is decimated in Dallas. It's brutal.
Oh, it's a rough go of it. I tried to tell him like 2 weeks ago he should have sold Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, Carl's got Thielen on a bye. That one slipped by me.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thielen's solid.
He's not even the number 1 anymore.
Well, Thielen is also like Ryan, where he always gets off to a good start.
Oh, hot start.
Yeah, and then nosedives. So it's another one of those sell highs that Carl might miss.
Carl should sell him to Ryan. It'll be great.
There you go. Even better.
Circle of life.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. I mean, I'm rooting for John. No offense, Carl, but I'm rooting for John. He's been in a whirlwind, just down.
If John doesn't make one of the 17 deals that he has sitting in front of him, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. His roster 2 weeks ago was so good when he had Dak.
When he had Dak.
Yeah, when
That's
he
all,
had.
you just stop there.
Yeah,
When he had Dak.
He had Dak. He also had Henry. You know, maybe it was that 3 weeks ago. Even still.
He traded Henry like I don't know. He had to have traded him like a month ago because I got both his starting running backs and I haven't traded with him.
No, Henry, he traded right before they were off on the COVID. And I think that was week 4.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was week 4. And it was like right before that happened. He traded with Norm, I think. And that's probably how you got him. That would make sense.
Yeah, sounds about right. I can confirm.
Norm's like the gatekeeper for players. Players just they don't even unpack their bags. They just it's kind of like a layover in an airport. You're just waiting for your flight.
He just tells them the limo will be there, and then the limo never shows up, and the guy just shows up and just hands him a ticket to get on a different plane.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Stanley, our team travel agent, will soon with your next city, next location.
Yeah.
So that's all the games, man. I don't know if you got any parting shots, but
I mean, as always, I think everybody should make as many trades as possible. I think everybody should trade for every guy on my bench right now.
There you go. I actually have a deep bench if guys weren't hurt.
My advice to the league is only carry one quarterback. Try and collect as many defenses that play the Jets or the Redskins and understand that better start stacking your lineup for the playoffs because shit's about to get real. And I don't go away to basics, so Norm's not getting any free passes this year. And Nick, if you want, you can start walking the belt to Fort Drum, or you can just put it in the mail now because the post office is working slow. But I'll send you the address when I know, and I expect my belt to be there waiting.
Okay, those are big words. That's for sure. Big words. All right, brother. Well, listen, at the point of the season, good luck to you. Good luck to everybody out there. And, you know, I feel good. I feel good about my team. You should always feel good after a win, you know?
Yeah, if you don't, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
You can't hate yourself like I do or the Bills do. That's just a terrible thing to do. Don't work out of hate. Work out of love that you want to be better, not fear of being worse.
That's why I'm surprised a lot of my Giants fans didn't join the pod tonight because, you know, we got to win. We won one. We got to win. My eyes getting better. My head's getting better. My fantasy team won. I won some money on Sunday. I definitely won some money on Monday. I'm in a good spot. RJ, good luck this week, brother. It's going to be a battle, that's for sure.
Hey, good luck to everybody, but just know I'm coming.
All right.
I'm back, baby.
All right. You guys, be good. You have a good
All
night.
right, brother. I'll talk
Take
to you
care.
later, man.
All right.
Bye.